Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we will be discussing some new news in regards to Phaedra Parks' ex-husband, Dr. Contessa, and how the show saved her marriage. Then finally, Toya clears up a few things for us as a guest on the Carlos King show. If this interests you, please stick around, like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for watching the Kenya Williams channel. Hey everyone, welcome to the Kenya Williams channel. If this is your first time here, I am Kenya. On this channel, we talk about reality TV, mainly Married to Medicine though, and hopefully in the future, a little mixture of personal things as well. So thank you for tuning in. And if this interests you, we hope to see you again in the future. If you're returning, good to see you again, cousins, and I hope you all enjoy. But without further ado, let's get into it. So after my video a few weeks ago on Phaedra Parks joining the cast of Married to Medicine, the story really seemed to take off. The article was already a month old when I came across it and decided to do the video, but I think my video may have sparked people's curiosity. Of course, some people with more subscribers than me were able to get more traction, but that's okay. It lets me know that I'm on the right path. But anywho, it has neither been confirmed nor denied by Phaedra or Bravo production yet, so we're still sort of in the dark on the subject. I did notice, however, that after everyone started to talk about her switch, her ex-husband Apollo popped up in the vlogs a few days later with a secret courthouse marriage to his now wife, Sharian Al-Mufti. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm no genius, but it seems kind of convenient to me. It appears he's seen the opportunity and took it, didn't he? I mean, out of all the other times you could have got married, you done it right after your ex-wife's name is in the vlog. Almost like he's trying to gain traction. I don't know, seems kind of sus to me. I mean, his divorce from Phaedra was finalized approximately 7 years ago, so I'm in no way saying that she cares, but more in regards to his intent and character. His timing was just off and very suspect. Anywho, moving into our next topic of this video, I would like to talk about Dr. Contessa. In an interview with Today a while back, when discussing her choice to allow Bravo to film the difficulties in her and Dr. Scot's marital issues from season 8, she stated, "We signed up for the vulnerability. I would say for anyone who's been married for any length of time, there are moments where you say, did I make the right decision? Or is this still the right decision today?" Last year was that moment for us. Now, if y'all recall, in season 8, we got to see a side of her and Dr. Scott that we never have before. And me being a married individual myself, I was kind of sad for them. There was talk of infidelities, but outside of flirting and inappropriate pictures being exchanged between Dr. Scott and another woman, nothing was confirmed, which that's still bad as well, because we all know what that stuff eventually leads to. But outside of that, it appeared the other issues were communication, which is a lot more common in marriages than we're led to believe. We've seen vulnerable points in marriages on the show before, with Toya and Eugene's past financial issues, the Simone and Cecil near infidelities, Curtis's infidelities, and of course the biggest blowout, which ultimately led to an actual divorce, which was Quad and Dr. Greg. Unlike other shows that typically don't allow us to see that in depth, I commend this show for allowing us to see this side of them. Can't say that I would ever agree to something like this myself, but we'll get more to that on my views at the end of the video. Dr. Contessa then goes on in the interview to say, "I'll be honest, I was very much of the belief that it wasn't just me that was ready to go. We were both not invested in our kids, we were invested in our business together, but we had to be honest, address that, and decide to stay together, and that's where we are right now." She also denounces the idea that reality television can destroy marriages. In fact, she said it did the opposite for hers. And finally, on that subject, she concludes that the marriage that fell apart was gonna fall apart. What it does is it forces you to have tough conversations. Because of the fact that you're sharing your story, if it weren't for reality TV, we probably wouldn't be together today. I mean, and who are we to say it didn't? Different strokes for different folks. And although we may not be able to picture it for ourselves, we can't truly say it's impossible without ever being in that position. The rest of the interview just consists of her talking about the disdain and confrontation she had against Dr. Heavenly, which to be honest, I feel like was exaggerated for views, because they were once pretty close, vacationing together and really connecting on another level. But since then, there has been multiple things that have led me to believe it wasn't supposed to go that far, and certain people needed a storyline, while production needed someone to be the villain. But I'll let you all decide. I will leave the article in the description below if you all would like to check it out, as well as the video I done a few months ago back on a live Dr. Heavenly did with Carlos King that really led me to believe it was all a hoax. Moving on to our final topic, I would like to talk about Toya, one of my favorite on the show. I love Toya. She is a fan favorite as well, and in my opinion, one of the most genuine and transparent. Now, if you're unfamiliar with who Carlos King is, he is a Bravo/reality TV show producer who spends his time outside of production hosting interviews and sit downs with the stars of the show. So in the downtime, when we're all waiting on the new seasons, he helps give us the vlogs, juicy details to help keep our interest until the next airing. I've talked about him a few times on my channel, so if you're a regular here, you already know. Anyways, they start the interview off with talking about Toya and how she came about moving from Detroit to down south. They then discuss how she came about being a part of the show, at which she states that she never wanted to be on TV. She said it wasn't on her vision board and jokingly said that she was put on to save the people. Well, after that, they begin to talk about her upbringing and about her being the only one on the show who's been in multiple physical altercations. First one was with Mariah, of course, then the second one more recently with the new girl Audra. They then go on to discuss growth and things she said that she's regretted while on the show. One in particular, of course, are things she said about Eugene, and even more specifically, the most famous of them all was her comments on Eugene's genitalia size. And to be honest, I'm a bit tired of hearing about it, but I always get a kick out of Toya scrambling and trying to explain it away. Because honestly, we know there's nothing she can say that will make it okay. For those of you who don't know, in an intoxicated moment in Vegas, she let something slip about Eugene's girth, or lack thereof, and it's just been this big thing ever since. No pun intended. These are some of the things she said.
The only regret that I have is that I allowed people to put words in my mouth and I allowed them to change the narrative of that scenario. When we were talking, initially at that table, we were talking about regrets of being married, regrets of, being, in our sex lives. We were having, as you know, with reality TV, things can be said and they can be manipulated. And they were like, what's one of your biggest regrets, in sex in general? And I was like, man, I just know that, the penis, it just doesn't get any larger. And it had nothing to do with my husband per se. I was telling her, hey, you better be happy as it relates to your sex life in general. Because my sex life over here, we good, but when you married, that bedroom, you better be ready to spice that shit up. Or you can get real complacent real quick. You know what I'm saying? Your man can get real complacent real quick. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can get real boring. And it's true.
None of that had anything to do with what she said about his size in Vegas, but go off, sis. They then began to talk about the beef between her and Quad. She said that there has always been static between her and Quad, but Quad began to take it too far when she started bringing Eugene into it, and I agree. Family, and especially children, should be off limits on the show, unless it's Miss Lucy, because by all means, please. Carlos then asked an interesting question. He wants to know if anything took place behind the scenes between her and Quad that we didn't get to see, that has kept these two at odds after all these years. But Toya replied with no. She said that all the shade that took place was on camera, and the main one was from season 1, when Quad accused Toya and Eugene of driving drunk with their kids in the car. She said she never looked at Quad the same way again. And can you blame her? She said it put her into a deep depression for a long time after that. Guys, Eugene is a physician, and I think maybe Quad forgot that with an accusation like that. On national television too, that could have seriously ruined his career. And it's a tad bit dangerous to throw our accusations out like that, just from word of mouth or without even fact check. In all honesty, Quad should have caught them hands, not Mariah. Anywho, when asked if not Quad, who does she think is the face of Married to Medicine, Toya admits that she liked it better when Mariah was on the show. And everyone agrees with that statement. I know because I did fact check. If you haven't already, go check out my most viewed video with over 140,000 views. The topic of Mariah alone built my subscriber count. So yes, we second that motion on this channel. Team Mariah. She also stated that Mariah grew paranoid in the end. She said she saw it firsthand when, as the show's producer, she wasn't informed that one of the reunions would take place in an exact replica of Toya's new 2-story closet. Then Carlos asked if she thinks Mariah will always be the face of Married to Medicine. She responds with she and I, as if to say her and Mariah are the official faces of the show. He lastly asks if she thinks Mariah should make a return. She says this:
do you want Mariah to come back?
I think Mariah needs to come check that Indian bitch down the street for me real quick. And that bitch quiet real quick. Get them all the way together. Get them they just do.
Concluding the interview with talks of Anila and Toya's current living status, Carlos asked if she thinks Anila is still good for the show, and Toya said this:
At this point, she's still good for the show.
I don't, I don't like to have anyone lose their position or their job. But I will say, does she fit? I don't know who she's a friend of anymore. I mean, I don't speak to her at all, in that way anymore, because I just don't feel like I told her, I said, what you've shown me is, when I tried, which I did 2 seasons ago, I said, I'll give you another opportunity. Let's figure this out. Then she came back the next season with lies, and you just showed me that basically, and she said it herself, we weren't cool. And so I said, does that meant because we weren't talking, you would perpetuate a lie about me? I said, so that shows me and everybody on this cast, as long as they're not cool with you, you have no problem stabbing them in the back and creating lies, throwing lies around here and there. So you're really not here for us. You're here for a check. And the thing about us is that, or some of us, is that we actually do have relationships. And so we're not here just for a check. I would say that for her, I don't really see where she fits in the dynamics of the group. No, I don't.
Now, I think that's mighty modest of her, but y'all know how much I loathe Anila on this show. I've made multiple videos on her escapades, and I'd trade her for a pack of ramen noodles at this point. As the person that brought Anila onto the show, you'd think Anila would be a bit more appreciative and respectful, but the fact that she's not just goes to truly show you her character. I'm just saying. Aside from their living status, that's pretty much all the interview consists of. To view the interview in its entirety, I will link it below, but I'm interested to know what you all think about the topics in this video. I still want to know what you guys think about Phaedra possibly coming to Married to Medicine, and would you all ever possibly consider putting your marriage issues out for the world to see? Me personally, I couldn't. My kids and my husband have always been a weak spot for me, and just having them vulnerable for the world to scrutinize and judge, I could not. And lastly, what do you all think about Toya's interview? Do you all think she was transparent enough? Do you all think she could ever make amends with Quad and Anila? On that matter myself, I would say I believe she could, because she always has displayed forgiveness, even when she shouldn't have. But the types of people that Quad and Anila have shown to be doesn't mesh well with Toya. I don't think they could ever really appreciate her friendship. Not like someone like Simone can, or even Jackie. I wouldn't even recommend Contessa for a genuine friendship with Toya, because she has even spoke on Eugene in the past by calling him the literal definition of a big A B, fill in the blank. Or did y'all forget? If Married to Medicine for some reason didn't work out, I wouldn't be against Toya having her own show. I'm just saying. But y'all comment down below on what y'all think about that. Real quick before I go, I just want to share this picture, this post Dr. Heavenly made, where it simply reads, "Who is ready for another season of Married to Medicine? You all know we can't wait." But I can't help but to feel Dr. Heavenly is being a little bit messy, because it only depicts the Fab Five. But y'all let me know. After that, please like and subscribe. Share this video if you care. And until next time, cousins. Bye.
So if you had to choose any Married to Medicine cast member, if Eugene was open to it, to invite in the bedroom, who would you choose?
Nobody, none of them. I'm not sexually attracted to any other females on our cast.
Quad is gorgeous with a body.
You have not seen her without that makeup.
Oh.
No. That hairline starts at the ear, baby. No. No.